that she's here because this is someone I grew up with and I look up to. And I'm really proud of her for making an effort to be involved.
I'm really happy that my mom came out today. I feel like it's a big step. There's a lot of, I think, concerns my mom has towards this in general, but my baby's growing up. There's no way we can avoid this.
So what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. So this is kind of the second part of the video that I made a while ago with one of Jazz's friends, which once again, you know, as usual, like I say, Jazz loves to get involved, you know, to like tell people how they need to feel about the situation. Like, you need to support your grandchild getting breast implants, you know, just because it makes them happy. And that's it. And you need to get behind it. And that's it. And so this particular episode that I made before, the grandmother was kind of like, hey, listen, you know, like you're young. So the thing is, you might change your mind at some point about this feeling about everything that you're saying. So, you know, maybe you want to slow down a little bit and think this through, or wait until you're 18 and things like that. And so Jazz, it had became a whole thing. And so, but now this is like a follow-up that they all went to a consultation together. Of course, Jazz was there, and it was, everything is contracted, right? So we're going to go ahead and look at this clip and see the totally intrusive behavior of Jazz Jennings, and how grandmom still is very, very well patient, if you ask me. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at it. But if you guys like these clips that I've been making, this is exclusive footage. That's why, you know, kind of looks the way it does and everything. Please hit the like button. Thank you.
Just help her give the wings to fly, and this is part of that journey.
Thanks, Helen. Me too. There's one thing I do want to hear today, and it's that I'm a good candidate for surgery, because if I could have this surgery tomorrow, I would.
You did your surgery? I didn't end up getting a surgery with it. I got lucky that I was able to develop and eventually grow weight, so happened naturally.
I visited Dr. Sassani before.
Your left breast is a little bit bigger than the right breast, so we want to even that out either by using an implant or making the left one a little bit smaller.
However, my breasts, they ultimately grew and shaped themselves out. Now they look great, but JoJo wasn't as fortunate.
Okay, so we talk about this on this channel. We go into the hypothetical medications that Jazz is probably taking. And I always like to make it a point to remind people, because Jazz has this thing that, you know, oh, my breasts are naturally like this because, you know, I get it from my mom. That could be a part of it. But remember, there might be medications too that make this happen, such as Risperdal being one of them, possibly, allegedly, you know, in my opinion, because we do know that Jazz is on medication for mental health, and, you know, medications that clear the mind, one of them being Risperdal, that can also cause males to have breasts, and breasts that will secrete, you know, have some sort of fluid come out of them and everything. Okay, so that could be a part of it. And then also Jazz has been taking the estrogen and stuff for a very, very long time. So that's a part of it too. I mean, it also gave the abdominal girth, and maybe the mom thing is a part of it. But what I'm saying is Jazz makes it like this is, it's my mother. Like, I'm blessed with these boobs. Like, no, like, it's just, calm down.
Hi, JoJo. How are you? Jazz?
Hello.
Gosh, great to see you. Really fabulous.
Thank you.
These physicians always look like weird to me. Like, I know, like, I'm taking a picture of a picture or whatever, but they look like they've been worked on.
Hi.
I wanted to be part of the consultation so I can ask questions and see what's going on, because this whole journey is very overwhelming.
First of all,
and so, you know, a grandmother like Nora is somebody to really appreciate and be grateful for, because this person's at least trying to have some pushback. You know, even to go back to the mom, the actual mom, these mothers, especially the younger moms, not all moms, you know, I have to always say not all, but these type of mothers, they're so like willing to be involved in this delusion, because it's like, did the child even really work through the root cause issue of why they're feeling like this? And then remember, like I always say, I can't find these kids. I can't find them afterwards. Are they still exactly happy? So Nora's definitely a blessing to ask the questions that she knows her daughter's not going to ask.
Typing some things to the computer. Okay, so you are 15.
Yeah.
And what is your current cup size?
Very, very, very small.
Okay. And what size would you like to be?
Like a moderate C cup.
Okay. JoJo, how long have you been on estrogen?
2 years.
Okay, great. And are you currently seeing a licensed mental health counselor?
Not anymore.
You haven't had any, you've had therapy in the
I
past,
had
though.
it in the past, but she moved.
I had it in the past, but she moved. Okay, so how long did you have the therapy? Right. So what are we doing here? You know, was this person a good candidate to give a contract to get involved with this kind of stuff? Because you had it in the past, but she moved. I believe, for me, I would think that all of this life-altering decisions that we are making would require ongoing ongoing psychological treatment. Ongoing, you know, for a long time, because that's how it used to be back in the day anyway. So I'm not saying anything different. That used to be the requirements back in the day. He's going to go ahead and say, well, we just need a letter, right? But it wasn't like that. Back in the day, you had to prove that you took you got a substantial amount of therapy before they started having these discussions with you.
First step is for her to get deep counseling.
Okay. All right, we'll talk about that.
And so when Grandma Nora said that, sorry, I know I keep cutting it off, but y'all didn't see, like in the clip, he gave her a dirty look. But she's right. She needs deep counseling.
All right, so I'm going to take some measurements now if you want to step out.
It's awesome that Nora is willing to be a part of these next steps in JoJo's transition. However, I could tell that Nora is not as fully on board as I initially thought.
So you're feeling a little fearful about this all?
First of all, of course, she's not fully on board with it. As you initially thought, what does it matter what you think? This is her grandchild. This is her blood. And she knows that when it's all said and done and the lights are off, she's going to have to deal with the with whatever, you know, ramifications that come out of this. You know, the results, period, that come out of this, whether they're good or bad.
Just a lot. Just a lot.
Yeah, I understand that. I still do think this is a good step for her, though. It makes her feel better about herself.
It's gonna feel better about herself, but then once this newness goes away, then it's gonna be focused on the bottom surgery.
But this physical change is much more than just getting a surgery. It does come with emotional benefits. And if she could feel more confident and comfortable in her body after this, then that changes her whole persona.
I want to come back in.
Sure.
So, and again, what y'all, like, if you see the actual clip, Nora is looking at Jazz like if I wasn't on the show, I would tell you right where, because really, what are you saying? Like, you know, it's just so intrusive. They treat this child like this child is an adult. Like Nora's probably somewhere in her 50s or 60s, has been through her own experiences, has seen other people's experiences, whether they're trans or not, right? Because, you know, people do this thing, especially trans people, like, well, they haven't been trans experiences. Listen, a Black woman and a white woman and a Spanish woman are three different kind of women, but I'm sure that they've shared the same experiences as far as like with love and like feelings of like self, insecurities. Okay. So there are things that we not everything in our lives have been in common, but there are things that we could say that we share in common. Right. Okay. So if trans people want to be included in society, like, well, you know, don't treat us like we're not normal, then okay, cool, fine. We're going to treat you like a normal. And we're going to say that Nora, even though she has not been trans, can still tell you that she's seen experiences and understands that humans go through moments of insecurities in their life, right? And then they come out of it. You know, it's like you're chasing a surgery to make you happy is not safe, even for a person, period, baseline. You know, somebody saying that they want to get bigger breasts, a woman saying that, or not. Now, I'm not telling women not to do certain things, but just make sure like you already love yourself. You're like, yo, I just need a couple of enhancements. That's it, right? But we know, we've seen the women who go out their way to get a lot of things done, and then they're never happy. And then after a while, it's like, what did you do?
I'm really hoping Dr. Sassani thinks that I'm able to get the surgery. It's something that is really needed for me to help me feel whole about myself.
So there are a couple things that we require prior to surgery. So one of them is that for top surgery, we do need one letter from a licensed mental health counselor saying that you're ready to proceed with the next stage of your transition. The other thing is that you have to be 18 to have surgery. But there are exceptions. I mean, these are just guidelines. And if the patient has a profound diagnosis of gender dysphoria, then we're allowed to proceed when they're less than 18 to have the surgery. But JoJo certainly is a good candidate for it.
So here's my concern.
Before we get to Nora's concern, but I just want to like clean up some of that jargon. We need a letter, okay, that says that you're trans. The person get that in 15 minutes now. Seriously, they can. Okay, and then you need to be 18. But if you're severely like having a problem with your gender dysphoria, we can like get a letter for that and make an exception. He can write the consult for the person that's going to give the letter. And it only takes like one visit and there's the letter. He's like, well, there's guidelines, but we basically have the loopholes to get through it.
Jazz, you waited and you grew. So same thing can happen to her. And that's what I'm trying to get her to understand. You
But I
do
do
this
understand.
now, but you have that opportunity to grow.
JoJo feels like hers have kind of hit a plateau and she doesn't feel like they're still developing. So
And that's why we normally have people wait until they've been on estrogens for at least a year, and you've been on for 2 years. So if you're on for 2 years without any further breast development, it's pretty safe to say that your breasts are going to stay the same size without an intervention.
Do you ever turn somebody away from doing surgery?
I've tried to dissuade people from having surgery. Yeah, you just have to make sure that they're doing it for the right purposes and that they're a good candidate for it. But as I was saying before, JoJo is a good candidate for the surgery.
thank you.
All right, guys. Okay, have a great day. Okay.
I mean, he says he's tried to dissuade people, but okay, whatever.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Is that going to help her? I mean, is it the right answer? And it's not, because she's got the other part that's still, it's still male.
That was very informative.
I trust him. Made me feel really good about it.
And I really like how he emphasized how you're a good candidate for this and that, this is a good thing. So
Feel it's hard to explain, but I just feel that she's too young.
You want her to wait.
I do. I
I
just
have to
feel
wake up every day feeling awful about my body. It's making me feel really upset. So
I just feel that it's like it's hard to
It's
explain.
making it real.
Yes. Yeah, I think yes.
it's making it real that I'm trans.
I really do think that Nora is finally having to come to terms with the fact that JoJo is trans. And it's a lot for Nora, who doesn't feel like transgender is a real thing. It's just a phase. JoJo's going to change her mind. And she still is holding on to that perspective and those viewpoints. But it's ultimately JoJo's decision. It's just going to help.
I'm just telling you, man, like, man, like, it's just really baffling to how much, autonomy they gave this person on the show to just say things like that. Like, oh, she thinks that JoJo is a phase and she's going to change her mind. I haven't seen these kids. I can't find them. So I don't know. Did JoJo change their mind? What ends up happening to them after that? I wish they'd have a reunion. Maybe they're going to have a season 9, and I really hope they have a reunion because, look, I wish the best for everybody in this situation. So I don't want anything bad to have happened to this person. But if, God forbid, that the person's not, quote, living their best life, how do you think the grandmother feels today? Like, really, And she's not saying anything that's wrong. Like, I mean, she's just not, And even JoJo saying, like, I feel bad about my body. So you have a body dysmorphia. So we need to, again, get to the root cause of what's going on here.
Help her look down at her body and feel okay.
Just feel that that's an adult decision that you're making. I'm just not ready to.
Well, let's focus on the positive. The consult was really, really great. Dr. Sassani was amazing. Oh, JoJo.
I just don't want to talk about it anymore, please.
and may not agree sometimes, just like you're not going to agree with me sometimes.
Okay, I'm really done having this conversation, please. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Grandma has completely backtracked. She's really caught up in her own feelings and own world. She's being a little selfish about it, you know?
Kids, man, this is why kids should not be involved in these situations. I mean, I know it's their situation, but like even to say like, oh, you're backtracking, being selfish about it because somebody's trying to save you from a life-altering decision, just to say, hold on and wait a second.
This isn't her transition. This isn't her life. This is my life.
It's going to be years before she can do the bottom surgery. This is at least so close and attainable that, you know, it'll give her some kind of peace. Mom doesn't always see what exactly JoJo goes through. JoJo struggles. My mom doesn't.
Let me explain this woman to you. I'm sorry. Yes, we're going to do this. This woman that you're looking at here is a single mother, okay? And wants attention so bad. This woman is a very free-spirited type of woman. I'm not pushing religion on anybody. But we know the hippie girls, the woo-woo, you know, crystal ball types, stone vibe feeling females. And it's okay. I'm just assessing the situation. But the parameters aren't set. Her mother was very strict on her, which is why she ended up rebelling from everything. You can tell. And, you know, and mom meant well, right? But probably didn't explain to her why she was doing certain things. Like even going to church, like my mom explained to me why we were going to church. You know what I'm saying? Like she just didn't make us get up and just go. Like she explained it. Didn't explain, just like I said, so we're doing it, that's it. So sometimes then you grow up and then you just say, you know what? I'm out of all of it. Like I'm just going to just be a free-spirited person. And obviously there's no male around, you know. JoJo now is very feminine around females, and there's a disconnect that's happening. But instead of the mom saying, because this, you could tell this person is living that life like, oh, we don't live by the normative ways of, you know, I'm not going to box, you know, JoJo up into a gender, but it's like, yeah, but no, like, it's not about that. It's a very simple thing. You know, it's just simple. And I'm not even telling you to box that person up into a gender, but what I'm saying is at least take the proper precautions and the proper steps. And it does not seem to me like that's being done anytime the grandmother can't stop talking about it, right? So that's the point. Like, if you're going to do this, at least take the proper steps. Like, we don't have to rush into it because, you know, like, oh, she's not happy. Well, that's life. You know, like sometimes we have to wait and be patient for something so that we do it the right way. And I'm being very balanced right now because there is a part of me that really wants to just, you know, end the conversation, like where really I'm just trying to be very balanced here but I understand that people don't live my life. So I'm just trying to do it in their life. Like, okay, fine. If y'all going to do this, do it the right way. That's all.
Understand everything that trans people go through.
She's got to be able to hear what other people say. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for her. You're walking in an adult world, you're making adult decisions. And, oh, yes, I can go and do this and what I want, and Brandon's be okay. Well, no, I'm not.
I'm so fed up in how she feels. It's really starting to upset me and anger me.
Yeah, I understand, but I think this is one of those situations where you have to say, Grandma, I love you, but I'm not going to let your fears and worries affect me.
I just feel so bad because JoJo was ecstatic coming out of the appointment, and now she has a completely different aura.
Don't you think I'm concerned? Don't you think that's just my concern?
I know what you're concerned about, and I know how you feel, but at the end of the day, this is a decision that I have to make. I can't live like this anymore.
Sometimes it's not all just about you.
So then JoJo ends up saying, you know, I can't live like this anymore. JoJo ended up slamming the door in her grandmother's face and saying, like, peace out, I'm done. Jazz is saying, you know, just let your grandmother know, like, yo, this is what it is. And we're not going to go any further. Like, this is just, you need to do you and be happy. And all I'm saying is somebody get me a private investigator or something so I can find out, is the happiness still happening? Or should we have listened to Grandma? Shout out to Grandma for trying to save her grandbaby. I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye.